The goal is to build indestructible income. And listen, I know, I know you, I know you're happy, you're mad, you're sad, whatever emotions you're going through. And I know you think this, and that, but that's your free will inside determinism, right? That's your free will, whatever you want to do there. Prepare yourself for one hell of a conversation today. Oh my God. I'm actually going to have to take 15 minutes just to talk to get some nerd stuff out the way. I'm just going to answer that. Oh, okay. Got you. I'm going to have to do that just in case with y'all none cameras on self. Dion says you're going to cut the cameras on a little bit. Back to this, the 20 million. I'm attempting to do all my 105 do fourplexes at one time. One time. This is my goal. Did y'all hear me? It's my goal. At one time. That's a so I'm gonna try to in my $20 million deal. I was on the phone yesterday. I'm gonna do all of them at one time. And I need to cover the gap, which is 4 million. I need to cover the gap, which is 4 million. So Otis, I'm on a get $4 million cash rampage. I'm going to exchange 4 million, Grace. Share your calculator if you don't mind, Grace. I'm going to exchange, and this 20 million is a revolving door of credit. I'm a rinse and repeat. Whatever. It's 20 million. Oh, and the term, and my term is like 3 years too. It's like 3 to 5 year term. This ain't no 30 year. This ain't no 30 year. Grace, I'm changing 4 million to $500,000 a month. So what's $500,000 a month times 12?
That is, comma, 6 million.
So how long would it take to get back my 4 million, Grace?
Less than 12 months.
So did I spend 4 million?
Well, you gained 2 million.
There you go. That's how that math works. Thank you so much, Grace. I appreciate you. You can put that down.
Come on with the math and Grace. Come on with the mathing.
This is, and you're going to learn this you're going to learn part of that in the credit class, but you're definitely going to learn it I do credit far different because remember, Tracy, this ain't my business. I do credit to be a powerhouse. I don't do credit because I want credit. I don't care about credit. Yes, ma'am.
When is the class going to be held?
The credit class right now, I've got it free for employees. You're just giving a $50 donation to the homeless. And it starts August 7th. Am I right? Oh, it starts August 7th. I guarantee you. Oh, here's the deal. And I'm going to teach you everything. So you'll no longer need nobody, no longer have to pay for nobody. I'm going to give you all my paperwork, how to remove hard inquiries, all sorts of stuff, repos, whatever. I believe it starts. Make sure I'm right. It's August 7th is right?
Right.
And it ends like October 10th. August 7th to October 10th. Replays available. It's if you're an employee, which Damali and Otis, as far as the credit goes, we're going to make you 2 employees. So it's free for you. You're just donating $50 to the homeless. There's a coupon. If not, it costs $2,200 and I will take $2,200. I can assure you, I would bathe in it. You hear me? I will bathe in it. I promise you. I'll walk out the shower with it wrapped around me. I do all sorts of stuff.
And is it going to be at night or during the day?
It's at 9 in the morning, but replays are available. Plus, you get every single document. So even if you miss, you get to go. Okay. Yep. You're going to be in a secret little. It's on my website. It's on my learning website. It's all there. It's going to be like a college. It's actually my whole website looks like a college.
Antonio.
Yes, sir.
It looks like we have August 7th as the start date for what it maybe means to be human. So we'll have to
Okay.
look at that.
Yes, he
By the way,
said it.
I just had a nice conversation with Dr. Ferris.
Nice.
Have him get together some copy for us for the sales push, and then have him talk in the camera so we can have a little video that we can give to the potential see. Here's who your professor's going to be.
Absolutely. That would be
So
very
he said
smart.
he'd work on that tonight.
And when he said he typically does, he sends it the next day. That would be very smart, especially selling his face. If he
Well, what Ena put together was brilliant.
brilliant.
I mean, just wonderful. But it's too much. It needs to
Mm-hmm.
be, but I don't know what to get rid of. It's so good. I gotta watch it. I mean, I know it's too much for somebody to grasp. So you got to be more specific and benefits to
Yeah,
like
shorten it up.
why should I do this?
I will, I'll help you shorten it up for sure. And of course, y'all use the long version for when they ask a question, you just scroll to it, like treat it like a script.
Right.
Yeah. Treat it like a script. Treat it like a script. I will. What I will do, you all, is I was going to say something. I was going to say I'll shorten it up. Oh, Grace, send that link right there personally to Otis and personally to Damali. Remember, you're going to get everything. It's really too much to tell you. Just whatever you think. How to file a lawsuit against the credit bureau and win $1,000. How to win more.
Talk about
All
it.
that.
I understand. You gonna teach me. The little
Yep.
credit TikTok. Do this, do that, do this, do that. I'm gonna learn all of that.
Yes, like the people be doing the credit hacks on TikTok. Yeah, absolutely. Now, keep in mind, I'm a capitalist, but my stuff is more about funding than anything. More about funding. Of course, you got to get the credit for the funding, but I got ways to get credit without it. It's. Like I tell you, you got to keep. I've got to keep $500 in one account just for all the boost that I do. 35 here, 25 here, just for all of them. There's so many different things. It starts with a date because, yes, and Dr. Ferris said keep it on the same day. So maybe he'll move his date. I don't know. I have nothing to do with that. It's going to go well for you all, but your salespeople on that's $1,400 commissions, and that's going to be so easy to sell. So easy to sell. Me personally, when they work over there, I got something for y'all. You hear me? When it work over there, I'm gonna tell you, come turn right around and do the credit, and you gonna give you in fact, I might give you 50% commission. I might. What's 50% of 3,300, Grace?
Half of 33 is 16.5, I think. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Yes,
mine.
16.50.
Let's make it official. No, my next round gonna be $3,300. And I'm gonna give y'all 50%. I ain't playing.
Pinky promise. Pinky promise.
I ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be, and then it's gonna be pre-recorded, just sit there, so it'll be already good. All right, tonight, mate, did you send them both to them?
Yes.
That's free. Please use that coupon link because you will only pay $50. And on July 1st, I will send it to Compassion International. It's $50. If you don't, if you feeling like, hey, now Antonio give away a lot of value, I will take your value in the name of Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Ali, Karen, Christy, and Carlisle. I will take your money. Okay. I would take your money.
Different.
Huh?
I'm used to Karen, Christy, every blue moon, but Carlisle is different.
Yeah. I think that might be the first time I ever said Carlisle out loud, at least this decade. That's for sure. This decade. But listen, you're looking healthy. You look like you just put on some cocoa butter and did some push-ups and took a bath. That's what I'm talking about.
The sun is doing well for me.
All right then. All right. All right. Tonight, y'all. One more thing. because it fits inside this free will determinism. Get to the point. Again, I tell you, I've already applied and it's sent to me already for up to $20 million in real estate. So the way I do that is I don't look for $20 million in real estate. Phil knows this. I'm going to the banks and I'm saying, I need this. Would you like to participate in this? Or then I'll just find some investors. Either way, I'm not doing the work. I ain't picking up no hammer. I ain't collecting no rent. So, anyway. All right. Get to the point where you are thinking, I'm going to do $20 million deals. Get to the point. Just start thinking it now. It may take you 3 years to get there. I'm not talking about in the physical reality. It may take you 3 years for your mind to get there. But that's kind of the point of what I'm trying to teach our free will for. Antonio, so what's the point of this free will versus determinism thing that you're teaching? It is my point is hopefully to get you to believe. Well, I don't really care what you believe, but it's my point, hopefully, to plant a seed that there you go, Miss Don. Look, my point is to get you to believe that, not believe, get you to plant a seed that you don't have to watch your thinking or make good choices. It is my attempt for you to see the world as I see it, that we've already done the good choices and the bad choices, and we've already exercised that free will. And now we're just consciously observing this timeline because we decided to. In this particular incarnation, we said, give me that timeline. I'm going to go over there. Rewind, press play. Whether you are from Seth or Ra, Urantia, law of one. While I'm being humble and telling you what I think, I'm not. I'm actually telling you what I know, but I'm being humble about it. Okay, I'm being humble about it. While you were in the great form of forms, is what Plato would call it. When you were in the TV show, the movie that Phil had us watch over the holidays, Proving Yourself. That's not the name of the movie. Help me, Phil. Defending Your Life. Okay. Proving Yourself. Okay. While you were in the great Defending Your Life thing with Meryl Streep, you said, I want that timeline for my ascension. And when you think about it, it actually makes sense. Y'all act like God only see one timeline. Think about that for a moment. There's more scientific evidence that God can see all these timelines. To relegate God to your little 80 years on this planet. Think about this even more. That every time you pray, you're asking some entity, ancestors, something, to go into the future and bring you what you're asking for now. That's even weirder. Push this further. And before someone taught you how to pray or called it prayer, you were already doing it. Before someone could ever correct you, you were born expecting good things to come to you. As a baby, you cried and somebody had to show up and fulfill your need. As a toddler, you genuinely played with hangers and toys, and it was the whole Narnia. And then here comes adults. Susan, it doesn't work like that. And all of a sudden, Susan sees that reality, and then she grows up with it. Best thing that ever happened to me Was not growing up with parents. No disrespect to my parents. That's not the way I mean it. It's just I'm the only Black person that I know attempting to take on Apple head on and build a $3 trillion company. I don't know any Black person that thinks this big. And not only white people I know think this big, CEO Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft, and Nvidia. That's it. Like, that's it. And that came because I never had parents tell me, Antonio, that's not how it works. Well, they would have called me Tony. Tony, that ain't how it works. My mama would have called me son. That's what my mom even called me Tony, unless she called me, like if I had to be like 15 feet away, then she'll say Tony. She just said, son. That's how she said it real strong. Yes, son. Yes, ma'am. That's how she said it. You pray to an invisible future entity to bring you things now. What is that proving, Susan? That even you understand innately, that means naturally, timelines are something you can tap into. Antonio, you can't say that. Yes, I can, actually. Einstein proved it in the mathematical formula. It's inside the general theory of relativity. And we now have space-time, in which we know to be true that space and time is a fabric that can be bent. Allow me to explain to you what space-time actually is way in the Apple days now. I want all of you to imagine in your head a blanket, whatever blanket you want to do. It's up to you. Just imagine you have a blanket. Now imagine your 4 friends, childhood friends, are holding each corner of the blanket. We've all done it, have we not? Okay, yes, we have. Now, when we was kids, Susan, we used to put the box fans under that thing and put the sticks, and we had an air tent. It wasn't no blanket though. We got the sheets for that. The fitted sheets really worked real good for that there.
And you wrap the edges on the edge of like the dining room chair.
Yeah, dining room table. Tuck it under the couch. This is when all the 16 cousins was in the den, the second living room. When we was kids, we go outside when it was raining and we get a leaf and we put it in the by the where the curb go, because it was drained, and we would see who leaf was going to get into the drain first. Because all the obstacles and stuff. But now we play video games. But yeah.
Look, and if you played it right, you can get the little TV and stick in the tent in the little.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We called it a fort.
Oh yes, definitely a fort. So all of you think about doing that. Okay. If you got your blanket in the field, you got the air fans under it, just think all of that, however you want to do it. Now what I want you to do is tighten it as tight as you can in your mind. We've all been there. Tighten it. Now, this time I want you to put a bowling ball right in the center. Tell me what happened to your blanket or sheet.
Oh.
It didn't just drop, it bent. That's how space-time works. The planet Earth is doing that to the fabric of reality while floating forward or expanding forward. And it's creating our sense of time, or second law of thermodynamics, entropy, starting from order to disorder. As much as I just said, I just gave you a crass course in not only physics.
Thermodynamics too.
There you go. Spot on. It is true. And the laws of thermodynamics. I just gave it to you. So when we pray, Melissa, think, hope. Hope is a future thing. Antonio, what you trying to do? I'm trying to prove to y'all that your idea of timelines, before you ever knew the word, you were already doing. Now we getting somewhere, Susan. So with that, today I want to talk about.
Wait. Can you rewind? I didn't get it. Say it again.
No problem. Your idea of timelines you've already been using before you even knew what they were. That means, Grace, you expected things that did not exist yet to hurry and rush to you as you were the center of the universe. She need to apologize to me. Has she done that yet? No. So you saying she need to get her shit together in the future and bring it here right now.
On Reverend.
Do you understand it now, Grace? When I cuss like your grandma, you get it now when you
That's
do what I get
it.
at? Okay,
Okay.
then. All right, then. Is anybody else left behind? No? All right, then. Okay, you got look. She gonna get her character together one day, but it's gonna be today. Again, that is spelled T-A-D-A-Y. Today is how that's spelled. And get it today. That's me calling for someone's karmic ascension right now because she got me messed up. So I'm proving to you that we instinctively, well, and actually innately, that's naturally, it's in us. We innately are calling the future forward into our present because as human beings, we just don't respect timelines. Let me push it further. Have you ever told a child it's going to take about an hour and that child went, okay, and came back to you in 2 minutes? Isn't an hour yet? Okay. As a child, you were not born with this rigid, stay in your place, son. I said 60 minutes. It's not what a child thinks. A child thinks, I should have it now. Right now. Where is that, Mom? And if you ever want to hire someone that's gonna make you keep your promise, tell a child you're gonna get that toy for them tomorrow.
Mhm.
See how you would be called out when you
Listen.
said you was gonna get that tomorrow.
To
You told me that you was gonna cook some cookies tomorrow. You understand? So today, I want to talk about human rationality and determinism. And I want to do it with hard facts. There's your title, Ina. Human rationality and determinism. More adequately, you could even say a theory of human rationality if you want to, and determinism. Okay. First off, we need to talk about what rationality is, don't we? And then we need to talk about determinism again. The father of rationality is Rene Descartes. Allow me to explain Rene Descartes. But before I do that, let me tell you why Rene Descartes is important. Because you all were taught imperialism. Who knows what that means? I know there's a school teacher here. It's the what you call it, scientific method. Yes, the scientific method. Give it to us, Grace.
That's all you. That's what you had to say. 'Cause what was the first word you said? Imperialism. Like
Yeah,
who?
yeah. Sorry.
What the hypothesis?
Yeah.
Listen, science has gone away from me. Where's the
But
body?
it had like 8 steps though.
It is.
Yeah,
Where's
I
Trey?
remember getting them 3 triboard things, with a whiteboard,
Yes.
and it'd always be that one family, probably the Sorrentinos, that had the yellow paint and the
That's
stuff
it.
all over it, and they
Yes.
won every year for the science
I won first place
contest.
1 year.
Wow, I'd never known anyone to win first place. I never won. First off, I didn't do my science project to the night before. Okay, that's number
Oh my
one.
God.
And then number two, my whole hypothesis was a lie. Everything about my stuff was a lie because I didn't do it. I just acted like I did it. I was just trying to get a C and get out of there. You understand? But that's it's my determinism. Oh, Dr. Branding won first. That's why you're an educator. She won first place. Rene Descartes said, well, sorry, the scientific method tells Tracy, which one's going to float, a fish or a rock? And Tracy goes, well, duh, it's going to be a fish. And say, why? Well, I did my hypothesis and I said, I put the rock in and I did that and I did my experiment And I looked at my controls and my variables, and then I looked at my results, and it's the fish. The fish floats. Rene Descartes says, but how you knew it was a fish? Did y'all get it? See, y'all are operating under, well, yeah, if I get the rock and the fish, but first off, you got to know what a rock is, and you got to know what a fish is. And you can't confuse the both. That's rationalism. That's before we get to all these steps, Susan, how you knew where to even go. That's so if I confuse you with this nerd talking about to do, just know it's that, well, how you know that's true? That's rationalism. Oh, look, she done pulled it up. Question, hypothesis. Oh, I was almost close, Grace. I did pretty good. Question, hypothesis, experiments. I don't know what I didn't say data. I said controls and variables is what I said. That's what I said. And
Control the variables
conclusion.
when you get to high school. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me. Man. Oh, I saw a post on Facebook the other day, Otis. It was so funny. I should have saved it. It said, another day not using the Pythagorean theory.
Another day. That's it.
Oh, I died laughing at that. All right. Grace, I'm gonna share the screen today. We're gonna go through this rapidly and then we're gonna talk. If you could read, Grace, this is my argument against hard determinism. This means I am arguing against myself. Is this okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead and read this part, Grace.
Okay. Definition and implications of hard determinism. Hard determinism is the philosophical view that every event, action, and decision is the inevitable result of preceding events and natural laws. Under hard determinism, free will is an illusion because all choices are predetermined by prior causes. This view suggests that human behavior is fully determined by genetics, environment, and historical circumstances, leaving no room for autonomous decision making or moral responsibility.
All right, so I'm gonna pull it up differently this time, so that's just the one document showing. What does that mean? It's just telling you that hard determinism ain't no free will. I'm going to argue against that because Napoleon Hill taught his son with no ears how to hear. So,
How do you do that?
you should get Think and Grow Rich, and you should be on Mondays with Phil and Susan on the
I
study of book.
am.
Oh, okay. I just use it as a shameless plug. Just use it as a shameless plug.
I am.
No, he
Some sign language?
he used bone vibration. No, he used bone vibration to, like, if you put your mouth on a hard surface and then talk, you would you at first that might hurt, that vibration, and that's how he taught his son how to hear. Some of you were born with dyslexia. You've been doing all right. How many of you were born with asthma and grew out of that? There you go. So this is you overcoming your genetics. How many of you are the curse breakers in your family? Y'all know what I'm talking about? This okay. Tracy knew exactly what I'm talking about. You like you get you a significant other and be like, nah, we're not going to my family house. We gonna cook here.
That is precisely correct, Antonio. I'm not going to jail.
Yeah, no, we not. We gonna Thanksgiving. No, we gonna do it here. Let's do it. Let's do our own. Let's do it all. I ain't fine. We gonna be there for an hour though. Okay, we're gonna be there for an hour. I'm not going. Yeah, that's the curse breakers of the family. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. That's also
That's a whole
against.
sermon.
That's
That is an entire sermon.
real. There you go. All right, Grace. Let's read the next one. Oh, I forgot to scroll down. Wait,
Okay.
pre-existing. Oh no, that's next. That is nope. Oh, I think I skipped one. Grace, when are you supposed to be here?
Oh,
Oh no, I'm right. I'm right. Is my free will where's free will and choices? Okay, yeah, no, okay. Okay, because I know where I'm going, and I don't want to go too fast. Neuroscience, yes.
All right.
Neuroscientific insights.
Okay. Studies in neuroscience have explored the neural basis of decision making. Research by Benjamin, we're going to say LeBay, or is it LeBet? In the 1980s, studied that unconscious brain activity readiness potential precedes conscious decision making by a fraction of a second. LeBet's experiment has often been interpreted as evidence for determinism. However, more recent studies have nuanced these findings. Research by neuroscientists such as Patrick Haggard and others suggest that while unconscious processes influence decisions, conscious thought can still play a significant role in modulating or vetoing actions, indicating a more complex interplay between determinism and free will.
Okay. I was taught a little bit, so there you
A
go.
little bit, okay.
Okay, we're going to skip this one for right now. Grace, read this one, and I'll put the two together.
Okay. Cognitive science and rationality. Cognitive science supports the existence of human rationality through extensive research on problem solving, reasoning, and decision making processes. Studies show that humans can evaluate evidence, weigh options, and make reasoned decisions based on logical principles and personal goals. For example, research on the dual process theory, which distinguishes between intuitive system 1 and analytical system 2 thinking, demonstrates that humans possess the capability for reflective, rational thought, even when influenced by automatic processes.
There's a great book on this called Thinking Fast and Slow. Forget the author's name, but down if you can pull it up. It's the only book called Thinking Fast and Slow. It's a white cover. It's in my Audible library. It's a fantastic book. It really is. It shows you those two different types of thought processes. Here's what's been discovered discussed so far in those two sections. When Dion's brain seems to think before she thinks. We have scientific evidence for this. She seems to get senses first and then get the feeling second. There you go. Thinking fast and slow. Yeah, that's why. Daniel Kahneman. Great book. Great book. Okay, you just put the link in the chat and then you can do that. It's a great book. It really is. Well, if you're a nerd, it's a fantastic book. But it's written downward though. It's written. It's not really like an Antonio book. It's written, it's written down. It's a great book. It really is. Melissa, it seems to be that humans are rational creatures. The question is being positioned or posited. It's the better word there. Is Trinace rationally mad at me or determined mad at me? Because if it's rational, then it's free will. If it's not, then it's something else. Why is it rational? If it's free will, it's rational. Why? Because you have to think outside of some determined system to make sense of things. Cool. So when you get to not high school, when you get to college or whatever, I don't know when they taught y'all critical thinking. I think Tracy teaches that in like third grade now or something. Seventh grade, okay. it didn't come to college when, it was like freshman year in college, but now they teach critical thinking and we need it. We absolutely need it. So there's a little something going on to where there's a bit of form of rational. Okay, get ready. We're about to discuss in a second. All right, Grace. No, well, go ahead and read this. Yeah, I'll hear you gonna understand a single thing here, but Copenhagen, right
Okay.
here, Copenhagen. Okay.
Quantum mechanics and determinism. At the subatomic level, quantum mechanics introduces an element of indeterminism through the principle of quantum superposition and the observer effect.
Yep.
According to the Copenhagen interpretation, particles do not have definite states until measured, introducing inherent unpredictability in the behavior of particles. This quantum indeterminacy suggests that not all events are strictly determined by prior causes, potentially allowing for a form of free will within the constraints of natural laws. probabilistic nature of quantum events can be seen as evidence against strict hard determinism.
I am a huge quantum physicist. I preach to you all superposition. And the idea of superposition in itself proves free will in itself. It says that atoms do not have to, on a quantum level, on a molecular level, do what you told them to do. It actually says more accurately, until Tracy, the conscious observer, expects something from that atom or the molecule or proton in this particular case. Until Tracy expects something from that proton, it does what the hell it wants to do. Until she has an expectancy, and then it behaves according. That actually proves my point, but I haven't fully made that. I have, but I haven't fully made it. Here's how the world works according to Antonio. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But the moment you put expectancy on it, it's over. There's no free will. There's no free will. And the problem is, Trinace is always walking around in expectation. Therefore, Trinace is never in her free will. We'll come to that next week in great detail. But you should know that that is how I see the world.
What you say is never what? Trinace is never
Never in her free will. Trinace is never in her free will because Trinace is always in some sort of expectancy. Melissa
And when you say that, you're saying like somebody is expecting us or her to do something particular. So therefore, if somebody's always expecting something from us or expecting us to be a certain way, then there's never a time for us to really be in our free will because there's an expectancy put on us.
That's part of it, but I would say that's the 20% of it. The 80% of it is, since you have your own expectations, Napoleon Hill calls it auto-suggestion, subconscious. If it's in your subconscious, it's an expectation for it. You have built the world according to what you expect. And since you expect what you built, you never have free will. And it's going to be very hard for y'all to argue that. I have far more evidence than you could ever give me on free will. Go ahead, Tracy.
So then with that being said, is that why, like when we don't get what we expect or when something doesn't happen in the way we expected it to happen, it really kind of messes with us because we had an expectancy of it to go a certain way. So it wasn't really acting within free will. We had a deterministic way of looking at it.
Yeah, the really good thing is the bulk of our call is going to be right here. So I'll work the rest of this, and it ain't that much left in the rest of the call like I always do. Let's stay here since the energy is hot right here, because the bulk of our call is here. This is the rational. Do we understand conscious observer? Not the effect of the conscious observer. Do we understand the conscious observer? Okay. So right now, some of you want to be here, some of you don't. Some of you are here out of obligation, some of you not. Some of you are here happy with me, some of you here mad at me. Some of you here feel alone, some of you feel connected. Some of you feel whatever or whatever, and all those are expectations. Grace put this in the chat. Conscious observer, expectation, results. I'm explaining. Now that's missing two things, but I don't want to say the two things just yet. I'm explaining conscious observer. The conscious observer, I bring up Jerome. Jerome is a conscious observer. So now we need to bring up consciousness and observations. Are we clear? Consciousness and observations. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have the conscious observer, then you have consciousness and observations. So
Mhm.
would the conscious observer be someone who
Anyone is the answer, but keep going.
they're conscious in who they are within. So how they respond and react to things come from within, but then you have the observer who you just have observations, which is what you see, and then you do something in your head about it, and you not act out, but you make a meaning out of it and you respond to that meaning. So would the conscious observer be someone who is observing what's going on around them, but because they understand who they are within, they don't respond to what they observe, they just understand what they're observing?
This is correct, but you are, if this answer had 100 strands, you just pick one strand. But you are correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you are correct. But you
Antonio,
just pick one strand. Yes, sir.
being you use my name,
You know, that's what
when I saw that conscious observer, I immediately said, you need to be able to read the room. It doesn't mean you have to do anything, but everything that's going on, you got to be able to recognize it based on what's going on, whether you want to engage or not engage, and then know who you are. So boom. So that's to me that I thought about was you got to be able to read the room. And I do that. I absolutely do that. I do it on the calls too. I read the room and then I decide what I want to speak, but don't speak. Yeah.
Oh, I'm reading the room. I can literally tell y'all some of y'all don't want to be here. It ain't that hard. Your face needs deliverance. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. I don't care because and that's not a bad thing. I accept law of allowing. I accept your free will in the way you're using it. It doesn't bother me one bit. Jerome, you're correct. It's a strand, but you're absolutely correct. The conscious observer, before we get to the conscious observer, because that's a thing, we need to think about conscious. And we need to think about the act of observing. To speed you up, the act of observing is a measurement, whether you want it to be or not. When Deanna said, so if people and they think subconsciously, the only person here that 100%, what did you say, Deanna? So I can give everybody back. What did you say? I want to get everybody back on that.
So the conscious person is the one who understands who they are within.
That's what, okay, right there. The only person on this call that understands who they are within is Phil. A very super duper, uber close second would be Otis. Simple as that. I know everybody on this call. The idea of understanding who you are within comes with a lot of nothing. You can't understand who you are if all you think about is who you are. Every great teacher has told you this. Go ahead.
Explanation that. Hit it up.
Those who gain their lives will lose it. Those who lose their lives will gain it.
Oh, so is it like just be stupid every day? Like be a kid, not be stupid every day, but like be a kid every day and just whatever happens in that day. Oh, okay. Is that what you're saying?
According to Plato, Socrates did that every day. Socrates
and so it's
fundamentally
that
changed the
saying,
world.
like, let things be without any expectations.
Can you let things be without expectations if you don't know who you are? Yeah. Your question answered itself. There's no way you can let things be if you don't know who you are. It's impossible. Because to let things be is not to hold on. But if you don't know who you are, you're holding on to a lot of things.
Antonio,
Yes, ma'am. You'd indeed. Yeah.
when you go to a networking event and everyone gets there and the conscious observers, they find a table and stand there and just observe what's going on. They're not running around with cards trying to talk to everybody and see what they have when they leave, and they end up with nothing actually a week later. When you overdo it at those things, and being an observer, you observe the people and you find someone else and your eyes connect and they're a conscious observer too, and you end up eventually connecting.
Fair enough. It's a strand, right? She's absolutely correct with a strand. Backing, go, Deanna, I forgot. Go ahead.
Okay, so is it like living like some, because I'm just understanding his words. Mr. Phil used to always tell us something about the difference between forgiveness and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like living in a continuous state of understanding at all times?
Understanding is an observation. Forgiveness is an observation.
Oh.
We're getting somewhere. You see what I just
So
did? Okay.
when you're saying letting go, like for instance, that's saying stop trying to control everything, and like you said, like we holding on to stuff and like always want to have control of situation or control of whatever's going on. So if you don't let go of control, you really can't really find yourself because you're always trying to control everything.
That's about 2 to 5. That's about 2 to 5 strands. Yes, control is actually fear. Control is I don't like the outcome that may happen because I've been through an outcome that did happen, and I am attempting to protect myself from this outcome that would happen. That's what control is. What Tracy just said, listen to what you said. So forgiveness, letting go. So if we consciously, can I let go? You cannot let something go and hold on to it at the same time. Allow me to explain in the observer talk. The conscious, I got you down. Hold on, let me just say this. The conscious observer that knows himself, using that as mankind, not only forgives and understands, they don't have to because they made no observations. It is only when an observation is occurring that a measurement happens that molecules, protons, become a thing. To unconfuse you, if Tracy do me wrong and I made no observations of her doing me wrong, that don't mean I didn't see it. I made no judgments. I made
that's
no
what I was going to ask. When you say observations, are you meaning judgments? Okay.
Judgments is that's like 4 or 5 strands, because judgments is certainly part of it, because judgment is a measurement. And that judgment is an expectation. Your anger is a measurement, and your anger is an expectation. And I am telling you, I was using Trinace as an example, I think at the time. Trinace has never used her free will in that hypothetical example that I gave, because Trinace is never not observing. She's always taking measurements, which means that she's continuously walking through reality, collapsing the superposition out of free will into a hard deterministic outcome based on her auto suggestion. But we'll keep going. Go ahead, Deanna. You want to say something? That's an appropriate response, Renee.
I forgot.
No, that's good. I should have let you go then, but that's good. Let's go back to observation. Some of you came here, you didn't want to be here. Some of you came here happy. Some of you mad at me, some of you not. And here's the deal. You'll be mad at me for something that you're not going to think about on your deathbed. Therefore, you're making an observation that will continue to collapse your reality until your deathbed. It is not that I don't believe in free will. It is this, your assumption of free will is on a timeline that you are observing. And once you make an observation, you're making a measurement. And once you're making a measurement, you're making an expectation. This is why you're using your free will not to do $20 million deals. I'm not. Grace,
Explain that.
Say it again.
I said, explain that better.
Sure will. Actually, I'll explain a bit with Grace. I use you, Grace. Unmute your mic.
Sir?
How do I meditate? Best of your knowledge.
Yes.
Just say whatever's in your head.
Okay. So I know you may have, I believe you may have, well, I don't know if you have something playing, maybe like YouTube or something, but you're still, is it astroplaning? Is that what you're, I don't,
Okay, you're right. And I do what? Because this is answering everybody's question.
you go out,
To where?
your future self,
Uh-huh. And do what?
talk to him,
And then do what?
come back,
And do what?
learn from what you from your future self,
And apply what?
apply what the future self told you to do and do it now.
I respect no timelines. This is the answer to Ebony's question. The way I meditate is I go to another timeline on a version of successful me, and I pull that thing back to my present timeline that I can only consciously observe in this flesh. But in my astral planing projected self, I could be anywhere at
Now,
any time.
Antonio,
Yes,
that
sir.
sounds like you crazy.
Yep.
And I don't want you to sound like you crazy.
Mhm.
So you need to put some meat on that bone.
Okay, I got you. So when Ebony asks, well, can you explain it again? I'm not making observations in this timeline, Tracy, because the reason while I went so deep in meditation is because whatever the hell I am observing, Otis, it ain't right. Think about it. Y'all pray because something ain't right. So why would you continue to observe something ain't right and then pray in the spirit of something ain't right? Because two something ain't rights don't equal a right.
Thank you, sir.
Shut your mouth, Antonio. Shut
You
your
explain that for
mouth,
me. Thank you,
man.
sir.
You better shut your mouth. You said a
Wait,
whole
okay.
word, sir.
I'm so
You said
sorry.
a whole word.
I missed the whole
That's
origin.
okay. That's okay. You missed that's okay. That they got it. I'll give it to you. That's okay. That's we here for this. Okay. This is what we're here for. This is what we're here for. Grace gets hurt by something and then prays while hurt. And then prays, please fix my hurt. So now she was hurt by the event and then prayed in herself in hurt. So hurt plus hurt don't equal not hurt. Hurt plus hurt equal more hurt.
Correct.
Because you looked at the event, observe hurt. You're feeling the event, observe hurt. And now you get the result of observed hurt. I don't do that.
Oh,
Antonio,
isn't
so
that
can I
saying
ask the question?
You sure can. Let me get
So you
Grace.
said you observed hurt. You observed,
Okay.
observed. So in my thinking, consciously observing. So like I've explained this before. Okay, in my humanness, I feel hurt. Okay, consciously observing, why am I feeling hurt right now? That's
Okay.
my version of a consciously observing. Like if you feel
Good.
something coming on,
That's
then
good.
as a third person to yourself, ask, why am I feeling this way? That's how I do my conscious observing.
That's a
Is that
higher,
kind of
that absolutely, that is a higher dimension. That is a higher vibration. The only way you can solve a problem is to tap into a higher consciousness. This is why man cannot solve a problem that man's mind has created. So when she asks the question, why am I hurt? She's not asking herself. To her little mind, she's asking herself. When she asks, why am I hurting? She steps back in her mind and starts going all over timelines in her head. And she gets out of that present situation and starts observing other things. I repeat, I say again that Tracy would never solve a problem that her consciousness has created. It will never happen. It will never happen. There's not a single fact that has ever happened in human history that has allowed a person to fix their reality with their mind. You must go into a higher mind to do so. That's why we got prayer. That's why we got books. That's why we have a vibration. That's why you have a connote. Feeling Susan, the right there you go. That's why you got the wisdom of the mystics, as Phil is pointing out. You must tap into a higher consciousness because consciously you created the harvest that's on that level. That's all you are. Whatever you have going on in your life is what you are. Remind me to come back to money just for a second. Okay, go ahead, Grace.
When you were saying, thank you for putting that in a mathematical term for me, hurt plus hurt equals more hurt. Listen, isn't that saying what you focus on expands?
That is correct.
Okay.
And y'all seen me do it. Some of y'all seen me do it before, but if you allow me, just amuse me, if you don't mind. Everybody take your pointer finger and then turn it around to where you can see your fingerprints. Touch your nose. Now come out 1 inch to where you have to cross your eyes and look at your fingerprints and just scoot back to where it doesn't hurt and look at your fingerprints. Tell me, am I clear or am I blurry while you're looking at your fingerprints?
Blurry.
I'm blurry, right? Now,
Yeah.
everybody, stop looking at your fingerprints and look at me. What happened to your fingerprints?
Blurry.
Such is life. Whatever the fuck you are paying attention to is the only thing that exists. And everything that you could get, Susan, fades away.
Watch yourself. Don't you put it like that.
That
Dear
F-bomb
God,
was
sir.
appropriate in that example. It was appropriate in that example. Whatever you pay attention to is the only thing that exists. And so you saw your fingerprint, you couldn't see me. The moment you saw me, your freaking finger damn near disappeared.
Watch
It's
it, Peter.
on your body.
Watch it, Peter. Lord, save me.
Right? Soon as he took his eyes off, your finger was on your body and your consciousness almost lost it. It's attached to your whole body in front of your face. And you almost lost it. So every time we go, I'm mad, everything that you would have been fades away.
So you mean to tell me?
You better talk.
And my blessing be touching my face. But I'm too busy focused on what's between the blessings. I can't even see it, and it's touching my face.
He ain't keep his word. He ain't take care of me. She ain't do this. 100%. That's all right. It's still there. Listen, Y'all saw the
Thank you,
exercise.
Grace.
You saw the exercise. I would throw my wig if I was where it was. You saw the exercise. Your finger on your hand attached to your body almost disappeared. That's insane. And I told you I was doing an experiment. Your brain should have anticipated and didn't let it work, but it can't do it. From an anatomy perspective, I'll show everybody, just look forward. I'm going to show you how much that your brain is wired to see in high definition what you're looking at. If you're looking forward, you see in perfect clarity. Now keep looking forward and use your mind to concentrate on your peripheral. Your peripheral scientifically is 85% worse than looking forward. Look at it. Don't look right. Keep straight and kind of concentrate on what's on the right of you. It's blurry.
Wait, so you mean to tell me not only do my blessing be touching my face, but I be too busy looking in between what I see in between the blessing that I can't see the blessing touching my face. But then I'm so busy trying to see what's going on all around me that I can't even see what's in front of me.
This is correct. Would y'all like me to show
Can
y'all?
I add on? Can I add on to that? Just my
Please.
personal with my marriage, because I'm determined to not be a statistic, right?
I
So
know
I
that's
said,
right.
if anything is gonna change, it's gonna have to be me. So one of the things I practice is when I start getting mad at my husband, and I start having these, oh, you make me sick. Why you don't do this? Why pause? I pause myself. Okay, what did he do today that made you smile? Yesterday, find something, and then it's like focus on that good, generate some good emotions,
That's a
and
fact.
then he starts changing some of his little things. It's like it's amazing because when I start focusing on a positive, I start seeing and receiving more of the positive. So yeah, you are absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
Facts.
Absolutely right. And the crazy thing is, you made him change by observing what he did good.
Watch yourself, Reverend.
Yeah, this is why I'm telling you, there's no
Instead
free
of
will.
focusing on all the bad stuff that was being done.
That's
So
right.
because
He
she's
didn't make him change. She gave him an opportunity to change.
That's right. She invited she invited her light and spoke to his light. He had the free will to choose if he was going to accept that invitation. According to Phil, and he's absolutely right.
But they're still operating in expectation of the law.
You see
of frequency to
right
make
now you're
that
on my
one
page.
single point to stay connected.
You 100% on my
one
page right
point.
now. You're right. Yep. You're 100% on my page. Absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead, Deanna.
Sounds like you're just saying.
Just saying. Go ahead, Deanna.
Oh no, I was just saying because
Take your time.
because she observed what he did to make her smile, now she gets more of what he does to make her smile.
This is correct. But the real problem is
Oh.
she shouldn't have observed. We're talking about the conscious observer. And Tracy asked, and I said, well, we need to break down the observer. We need to break down what consciousness is, and we need to break down what observation is. If I asked, wouldn't have observed it, wouldn't even been no anger. But since she don't know herself, she must observe everything that is not herself. Tracy say it again. Since she don't know herself, she must observe everything that is not herself. This is why I said Phil and Otis. And I meant like close. I meant if Phil is 100, Otis is 102. Like they just there's a 100 over here. Like 100%. If you truly know who you are, you would never let me put something on you that you are not. It is what it is. If you ain't gay, I can't make you gay. It just is what it is. If you're not vegan, I can't make you vegan.
Sure can't.
Says the meat eater.
I didn't know I was unmuted. Let me mute my mic.
If you know
What
who
about that
you,
with emotional? Like
Mhm.
if you're not angry, they can't make you angry. But it can you explain that in a different aspect?
I can, I got you, but there was two vibrations. There was the vibration of your light, and there was a vibration of your words, and they didn't match. I feel like you said something deeper than your words said. Will you restate with the real intention, please? And then I will answer. No, I'll mute your mic. You definitely said something amazing.
No, because because what you said was like if you don't know yourself,
got you.
You're looking. I mean, you said if you know yourself. I'm going to say you said if you know yourself, they can't put something on you that's not you, right?
That's correct.
So right there is where, and then you start saying like, if you're not vegan, they can't make you vegan.
This is
But
correct.
I was just thinking about it more like on an emotional aspect, like.
Hey, let's stop right there. Hold on, stop right there. There's a certain vibration you got right there. Give me that right there. Re-ask your question. When you said I was just thinking, give me that re-ask your question right there in that energy.
If I'm not walking in anger, then they can't make me angry.
Ah, got you.
Or if I just don't, like we were talking about expectation, like if I don't have an expectation of them, then they can't make me angry because I don't even have an expectation of them to be a certain way. So I get angry when the expectation doesn't match what I'm expecting. So yeah. Okay.
All right. Two things here. I'm going to answer her question when I tell her the scientific way to get angry. Is that okay?
Oh, I need to hear this. Come on.
Yes. In the meantime, so when you hear me say the scientific, that's when I'm answering what she just said. In the meantime, I need to explain to you why I had her repeat some of y'all. Well, it is what it is. I have no you showed up here, so you're gonna get all this rodness, okay? I can tell vibrationally when your vibrations aren't matching. Your words are a vibration. Your light is a vibration. And when your vibratory complex does not match with your mind, body, spirit complex, I can pick up on that. I don't often say it out loud because it's not the platform, but this is most certainly the platform. And so I can hear when you're asking something and then you were feeling something, I can hear the difference. It's just part of the journey. In your case, scientifically, Tracy, there we go. I'm now answering that question. When the picture you have in your mind does not match the picture in your hand, you will always get frustrated. Always. When Tracy has a perception of whoever she is thinking of, and then she looks and say, that ain't what I'm thinking of, she will never be happy. Third time, a few more people gonna get it. If I am dating Jerome, congratulations, Jerome, and Jerome does something that I don't like, and it is the picture in my head that I knew he was going to do that, don't even bother me. I knew he was going to do that. I ain't tripping. When Jerome do something I don't like, and that's not the picture I had in my head, I'm going to have a good day, and he do something, I will automatically 100% get frustrated. Notice the choice of my words. I said frustration. I did not say angry. Depending on your auto suggestion about that situation will determine your anger. If you think away about that situation, frustration in the moment of an instant, probably simultaneously would turn into anger. If you're addicted to depression, like some of you, it would turn to sadness. If you're addicted to fear, it would turn into control. It just depends on you and your own suggestion. But the reason why I can scientifically tell you this is because there's a phrase for it. It's called cognitive dissonance. It is when your neuron is holding what you thought and seeing what is not. The chemical reaction to that and the hormones from the thyroid is to secrete through your bloodstream frustration.
Watch it, doctor.
That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. That is 100% facts. So when the picture in your head don't match the picture in your mind, the first thing you do is you get angry. And angry is a measurement. And superposition says that all molecules, that's what we're going to call it for the rest of the class, are in a free will state until you, with your expectations, observe them. The problem is not choice, Otis. The problem is your perception. Go ahead, Deanna.
Okay.
This is like the best class I've ever taught. Pretty good.
How do we
Okay.
be the conscious observer?
You automatically are the conscious observer by existing on planet Earth. You have no choice. Phil agrees. How do you deliberately observe what you desire? Well, you need Abraham Hicks and Antonio Smith for that. I think we're the only two people who push that as hard as we do. That's a different story, though. You're automatically conscious observer. The problem here is the conscious observer. Antonio is arguing that there is no free will because you are consciously observing. And you think that's free will. It's a measurement. And so you're walking through every superposition thing that could have been, deterministically folding it to what you want or don't want. It's up to you. Therefore, there's no free will. There's only a few people exercising free will, and all of those people from now to the beginning of humankind have wielded magic on this earth. Every culture has a different name for them. Prophet, ascended master, so it doesn't matter. Every culture, every timeline, that's up to you. But I can assure you that you're always a conscious observer. I mean, I'm going to, someone said, I did not think about being addicted to depression. You're not just addicted to depression. I was explaining this to somebody earlier. Who was I explaining this to earlier? Who was that? That was Ina. Ina, do me a favor and tell them what I told you, and then I'll pick up from there. Because I don't remember what I said. I just know it was brilliant because I'm brilliant.
Yeah, no, you said, yes, you are brilliant. I don't want to take over there.
Well, you know, my head is big because I blow it up myself. You understand?
Yeah. Well, you said, yeah, I am addicted to depression because it's the only thing I know. And so that's the only thing I see and I live up to. So it's the only thing I know. So, yeah.
No doubt. I told her, so whenever you, I'm opening mail while talking to y'all, whenever you do anything, Ina, you're addicted to depression. I talked to Dion about it. Literally, I talked to Dion about depression earlier. I talked to Ina about it. It just came up naturally. Like I'm not the one bringing it up. It's not me. And Dion said something so dope to me this morning. She said, you know, you said something about depression and it just resonated with me. Because it is hard to get out of. It is. Depression is not hard to get out of because it's depressed. No, 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 no. No, 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 boo boo. No, boo boo. Depression is hard to get out of because it's an addiction. Phil is showing y'all the. Say it again.
It keeps pulling you back into your comfort place.
It's an addiction.
Yeah, and
Don't
that's
pull
what
you back
addiction
into
is.
your comfort place, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Depression is an addiction. Here's the deal. I am not telling you depression is not real. I'm absolutely telling you depression. Depression is so real. We need medicine for that joint. Depression is real. It's folk who take medicine don't even realize they was depressed until they take medicine. Depression is real, 100% real. It is an addiction. It is your thyroid gland has pushed the hormones that match depression throughout your body for over 21 days, for years. And your neural network, your neurons have formed little highways together. And if I dissect your brain, you're going to have the strongest neural network of depression neurons that are telling your thyroid to push this. And your brain only wants to be successful. It doesn't care what state you are in. It just wants you in. Your brain doesn't, whether you're a billionaire or a bum, your brain will consider that successful.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you brought this depressed stuff up in the power words meaning.
Yep, sure did.
And I don't want to be depressed.
Fair
or
enough.
whatever that is for me. So how do I stop that?
There's only one way to stop an addiction. There's two ways. Well, it's one way, but then there's a method you need to do inside that way. You are not going to like my answer because it is kind. By you, I mean y'all, not her. I'm saying second person plural. My answer is kind. My answer is so kind, it is Susan Sorrentino approved. In order to stop depression, you got to be kind to yourself. And that's the exact opposite of depression. Now, that's the method in which you're going to do what I'm about to say. The thing you need to do is break down that neural network. And there's only one way to do that scientifically. You're right, Tracy. You don't use it. Y'all ever learned a new language? You was really good and you stopped using it for a while. Now you can't use it.
Yes.
That's what you need to do to your depression. You need to stop using it. And how do you stop?
I don't even know if when I'm using it.
That's fair. When you called me earlier, remember I told you I don't do that, right? I told you don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You need to, but what she did earlier, she got triggered today, called me. I called her right back and didn't answer me. It was supposed to be. She called Grace and Grace called Kenneth on the line and it worked out. So that is her getting out of depression because she's reaching out. And let me tell you something. Respectfully, it'd be a lot less people committing suicide if they had people to reach out to. Respectfully, I don't mean to offend anybody that's going through this, but somebody got to talk about it, right? It'd be like, like the church never want to talk about money and sex, but the things tear the church up is money and sex. At some point, we need to have
give up both.
At some point, we need to talk about it, Tracy. You hear me? Like at some point, we need to talk about sex and money because Jesus came down here and talked about sex and money more than salvation. Just so we're clear. Look it up yourself. Look it up yourself. Look it up yourself. Jesus talked about sex and money, especially money, more than salvation. Because you know what, Ina? Sex and money is what people in jail for. Anybody in jail for not being saved?
I can't say it.
Right? That's not what they're there for. The conscious observer we got because the elections, the presidential debates for to come on. The 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 conscious observer is obviously you. But let me tell you what the conscious observer is. All of you were right. The conscious observer is the person who decided to measure something with expectation. And that is all. Nothing else. You don't realize you're measuring, but to look at something is to measure it. And you don't realize you have expectation, but to have a subconscious that has social constructs in it, you are absolutely expecting. You are not married because you expect a certain thing that goes against the laws of success when it comes to marriage. You were not rich because you expect a thing that goes against the laws of success. If you want to know what success is, I'm going to give you two answers. They're both going to be esoteric. One is going to come from Brian Tracy. One is going to come from Grant Cardone. Brian Tracy says success is to be in harmony with the laws of success. You don't need to know what they are. You just need to emulate those doing it. Grant Cardone has the best definition of success I've ever heard in my entire life. Grant Cardone says success is the difference between my potential and my reality. That's success. How quickly can I close the gap from my reality to my potential? And how big the gap is from my reality to my potential is how successful I am. In my head, I'm not going to be satisfied. This is an honest to God true story. It happened 48 to 72 hours ago. I got mad 72 hours ago. Deanna, last time you see, I know, look, okay, y'all see her face? Y'all see her face? She get a what? First off, she'll know what I got mad about. But when the last time I've been mad? To your best knowledge.
Been years.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. First off, who made you mad?
NVIDIA.
Secondly,
NVIDIA made me mad.
Take off your car.
Fair enough. I got this, honestly, got your story 72 hours ago. I was scrolling down my timeline, minding my zombie-brained mind, just moving my little thumb, trying to be a zombie like everybody else. And I saw a message that said NVIDIA just surpassed Microsoft for the #1 company in the world at 3.13 trillion. And I went, these motherfuckers.
Wait, did you say
I swear to God, I did. I'm NVIDIA, yes, I kid you not. Oh, this, you shook your head. You saw the same thing I saw. And I went, dog it. And let me tell you why I got mad. Because just the day before, I told y'all on one of these calls, no, we building a $2 trillion company because ain't nobody cracked 3 trillion. The find out companies is at 3 trillion, and I'm not up there. I'm dead ass serious. I swear to God, I'm so serious about this. If you're an empath, you feel all my emotions right now. I am so serious about this. And I looked at that and I was mad for two reasons. And I have not been mad in years. I was mad that I ain't up there, and I was mad how you get $3 trillion and miss it, Antonio? You missed 1 trillion per company. Where were you? You know we watching money. Why you didn't study the trillion? What's going on? I'm just doing all, I swear to God, I had a whole mental meltdown.
It's not your time.
Fair enough. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But it was like I was literally thinking for a good strong minute. Wait a minute now. Now I'm happy for them. I'm just trying to figure out when I'm going to be on the list. It feels right. It ain't my time. The reason I'm bringing that is my conscious observation realistically thinks 3 trillion is reachable. That's why I'm bringing it up, to the point where I'm angry when I don't have it. I'll give you a great story about this. My dad, who was in prison, there was this guy, I can't remember his name. He was roommates with my dad, and he was paroling. Well, he was about to parole. Now, my dad didn't have a problem with this. He's institutionalized now. Well, actually, he's uninstitutionalized now between me and Deanna, but he's on his 22nd, 23rd year. So people paroling ain't hurting his feelings. It just is what it is. But they're both preachers, roommates together. And I forget, his name starts with an R. I think his name is Robert. And he misses parole, and he goes into this depression all week. And my dad encouraged him, and and kind of got him like, man, come on, that's not faith in God. So I pulled my dad to the side when he was gone, and I said, actually, Dad, Gianna, you were on the phone. Oh, no, I don't think you. Yeah, you was. So actually, Dad, he's actually more right than you. He trusts God so much that the idea of not paroling was so strong that he never considered the option. He knew he was going to parole. So when it didn't happen, he went into this depression, not because he has weak faith, because he trusted God so much, he couldn't believe that he didn't get parole. And I told my dad this, and he was like, that is a heck of a view on faith. And I was like, yeah, because y'all are taught in prison don't have that kind of faith about parole. 2 months later, he popped up on parole again, and he's out. That guy. And my dad came back and told me, man, I'm so glad you told me that. So now my dad is wishing and believing for parole, and had Deanna send some paperwork off. When?
I don't even remember when.
It was recently, though. It was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, June 10th, because
June 10th.
the parole division received your correspondence dated June 10th. It will be available for review by the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles. This letter came in the mail today. I was trying to figure out why I was getting from TDCJ.
Fair enough. And I just happened to bring this up. My point is, now he's consciously observing a different expectation. So let's wrap this up for about 15 minutes. Well, what is conscious observation? If you do not know yourself, you're observing everything that is not yourself. Neil Donald Walsh has a really good way of saying this. He says, it's so confusing though. Whenever you want something, that which is not. It's so difficult. It really is. It's so difficult. Yeah, it's so difficult to say it. But what he's saying is, when Tracy wants marriage, everything that is not marriage is going to show up. When Tracy don't want marriage, everything that is not don't want marriage is going to show up. Man, I've been liking you since high school, man. I thought you was gonna be my wife, all that stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Why you ain't tell me in high school?
So I have a question right there.
Mhm.
When you say don't want, that doesn't mean necessarily don't want it. That just means like don't be focusing on it and then it'll come, or like, right?
And the point I'm making here is you don't have to focus. There is a great movie that tried its very best to explain this. It did a good job. It changed film forever. It's called The Matrix. And Neo asks Morpheus, are you telling me that I'm going to be able to dodge bullets? And Morpheus told Neo's, I'm telling you, when you're ready, you won't have to. My friends, please hear me. If you really want to observe the reality that you want, that you desire, that is worthy of you, Trinace, stop being Trinace. It's that simple. Every single thing that is wrong with your life, it is because you are Damali. You didn't come here to be Damali. You came here to be God in Damali's skin. And God does not need to focus. And it is that simple. Every great teacher, every sacred text, grace, the whole John chapter 1 proves that God came and dwelt among us, put on flesh, and became you in the experience. You didn't come here to be grace. You came here to be God in gray skin. Why did Grace become to be God in gray skin? Because God wants to hug Tracy, but God can't do it until God is in Grace's skin. You missed it. All you empaths, every time you hug somebody, that's God hugging somebody. God just happened to be using your arms, Susan. Simple as that. It just happens to be in your arms. Your arms. You didn't come here to manifest things. I just really despise that teaching. It's righteous indignation. You don't need to manifest because it's already manifested. You need to calm down and vibrate at what has been manifested. It's too much pressure for Tracy to think that God told her to come here and build things out of thin air with her mind. God did that. Oh, you didn't like that? I thought God spent the world into existence and made everything here before you got here. You putting too much, y'all are in the wrong position of manifestation. Ina, you don't have to build. You have to know it was built for you. That gave me chills. Stop building and just know you deserve it. I don't know what's coming next, and I'm not focused on it. I am only focused on one thing. My life after density 6. The rest is falling in place faster than it ever has before in my life. I know exactly what I want to do. I am genuinely in the middle of business that is important, stopping every now and then to write something fiction. Today, I was working with the middle son on something fiction on his book. He's so excited because his daddy ain't writing his book. He ain't said it out loud, but he got a little smirk. And I was like, nah, but that's you. You gonna have your idea. That's gonna be you. And he was like, yes. He ain't gonna say it, but he was like, yes. And it's so anime-ish because that's what he loves. And it's so incredible. I want you to think of free will and know that you are right, Trinace, if you believe in free will. But know also everything that is Trinace, everything that is Grace, everything that is Susan forces you to stop free will. And so now you're deterministically making reality bend to your vibration. Everything that ever changed your life, two things happen. Thing number one, you wanted it so bad you couldn't think of nothing else. Thing number two, you wanted it so bad you forgot to focus on anything else. That's a fact. Any great thing that changed your life, you wanted it so bad you would not be denied, and you wanted it so bad you didn't see nothing else.
But I have a question right there.
It's a good
Isn't
question.
that's contradictory because like we're saying whatever we focus on, like when you focus on it and you go after it, like and you put everything else to the side, then you get it. But then it's saying, okay, well, don't focus on what you really want because and just let it and just vibrate and let it happen. And I'm just like, okay, because for me, I know for me, I'm a control freak, and I know that's my issue. Like in order to get what I want, I go and do what I need to do to get it done. But
Is it
then
working? Is it working?
on some, well, that's the point. On certain things, when it came to achieving certain goals, yes, the
Does it
things
work
that I want,
consistently?
when I really focus on what I want, then I get what I want because I do what I need to do to get it.
That's not
However,
okay. Keep going. That's not focus though. We're using the word focus because we're stuck in English language. That's expectation. Those
okay.
things you're talking about, you want it so bad that you will not be denied. That's called expectation. That's basically saying, y'all got me blanked up if you don't give me this. God, give it to me or kill me. But it is what it is. That's
But
expectation.
then on the other side, like when you say like with marriage, like don't focus on marriage, just let be and let it come.
Expect to be married and it'll come. That same energy in which you see, expectation is a measurement. That's a conscious measurement. Wanting is to admit you don't have it. Expecting is to admit I got it. It just ain't in my reality yet, but it will be.
Antonio,
Yes, sir. Remind me to come back
I
to
think I
birthday,
got
Grace.
I think I got the Neil Donald Walsh quote, and I think it's really appropriate at this time.
Yeah,
The moment you declare anything,
that's it.
everything unlike it will come into the space. That this is the law of opposites.
Yep.
Producing a contextual field within which that which you wish to express may be experienced.
Absolutely. Everything, Grace, unlike it, will come to a space, producing that will give you that experience. Tracy, it was perfect that he broke in right there. Is Tracy right? Yep. Is she right about how she get things she want? Yep. But she only applying that to things. She's applying it to material. She's not applying it to the bigger things, the lifestyle or whatever that she wants. And it's a simple word, expectation. I'll give you the birthday that I just told Grace to remind me of. Every last one of you expect your birthday to come up. Forget what's going to happen on your birthday. Is there anybody here that plans on dying before their next birthday? Is there anybody? Okay, there you go. That being said, that's 364 days that came and went, period, for one day. Say it a little more with a little more detail, Grace. Summer, spring, fall, 100 million cars passed you up. Asteroids colliding in the air. 100 trillion waves crashed on the shore. And then your birthday. Third time. A few more people get it. God spoke mosquito to mosquitoes, frogs to frogs, horses to horses, French to French people, soldier to soldier people. And all these things happened, and 8 billion people did all these things, yet Tracy had a birthday. What I'm trying to tell Tracy and all of you is it's coming when you expect it. Not when you expect it in the thing, I know the time, but when you start shifting from believing to accepting, you will have it. Because accept, receiving. Remember, Tracy, is ask, believe, receive. Y'all get stuck in asking and believing. You really think believing is holy because religious circles teach you that believing is holy. Believing is the worst thing that you can do. I never teach you. I don't have a single class that I've ever taught on believing. I've never done it. I've never taught on believing. You know why I don't teach on believing? Because believing is the second part of the law, Susan. And if you keep in the second part, you ain't never getting. The goal.
You gotta go.
Yep, sure do. So give me 1 minute, Grace. The goal is to know, to love, and to expect. You deserve every good and perfect thing. And anything that is not good and perfect is still good and perfect for you. Because you're going to get it and you're going to change it in your reality with your vibration. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better. You can dominate. Love you, everybody. Watch the presidential election.
Love you more.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Love you more.